Hello everyone. Welcome once again to this channel where we share the teachings of the Bible. Today, adding to the series of videos where we study the Bible chronologically, we will review Genesis 12 verses 1 to 9, which tells us about Abraham's call and how God through him gave us his biggest blessings. After God confused the languages at Babel, scattering the nations, his plan for redemption was set in motion. He chose one man to begin something far greater than he could ever imagine: Abram. This is the beginning of a journey that will change the world forever. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to follow our chronological Bible series. Leave a comment about what stood out to you in today's episode. God calls Abram. Genesis 12 verse 1. The Lord had said to Abram, "Go from your country, your people and your father's household to the land I will show you." God asks Abram to do something radical. Leave his home, his family, and everything familiar to go to an unknown land. This is a key moment in history. God is setting his redemption plan in motion. Think about this. Have you ever felt called to step into the unknown? Abram had to trust God without knowing the final destination. Next, we see a life-changing promise. Genesis 12 verses 2 to 3. "I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you I will curse, and all peoples on earth will be blessed through you." God doesn't just call Abram, he gives him an incredible promise. He promises descendants, fame, and that his life will impact the entire world. But here's the twist. Abram and his wife Sarai were old and had no children. How could this promise ever come true? Abram obeys without question. Genesis 12 verses 4 to 5. So Abram went, as the Lord had told him. Abram was 75 years old when he set out from Haran. He took his wife Sarai, his nephew Lot, all the possessions they had accumulated, and the people they had acquired in Haran, and they set out for the land of Canaan. Without a map, without details, just with God's promise, Abram obeys. At 75 years old, he leaves everything behind and embarks on a journey of faith. Can you imagine making a decision like that at his age? In today's literature, we have Kierkegaard and the leap of faith, where philosopher Soren Kierkegaard spoke of the leap of faith, the idea that trusting God means stepping beyond human logic into the unknown. This is exactly what Abram does. In a world that seeks security and control, God calls us to walk by faith, not by sight. Then we see that Abram arrives in Canaan. Genesis 12 verses 6 to 7. Abram traveled through the land as far as the site of the great tree of Moreh at Shechem. At that time the Canaanites were in the land. The Lord appeared to Abram and said, "To your offspring I will give this land." So he built an altar there to the Lord, who had appeared to him. Abram finally reaches Canaan, and the first thing he does is build an altar. This shows us his priority, worshiping God before claiming the land for himself. Genesis 12 verses 8 to 9. From there he went on toward the hills east of Bethel and pitched his tent, with Bethel on the west and Ai on the east. There he built an altar to the Lord and called on the name of the Lord. Then Abram set out and continued toward the Negev. Even though God promised him the land, Abram didn't build a palace, he lived in tents. This teaches us that faith isn't about receiving everything instantly, but about waiting on God and continuing forward. As a final reflection, here is what we learn from Abram. 1. Faith requires action. Abram didn't just believe God, he left everything behind and walked in obedience. 2. God uses the unlikely. Abram and Sarai were elderly and childless, yet God chose them for something extraordinary. 3. God's promises take time. Abram lived in the promised land as a foreigner, but he trusted God would fulfill his word. Have you ever felt God calling you to something bigger than yourself? What would you do if you were in Abram's place? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode in our chronological Bible series. See you in the next video.